When you ask about the economy, everyone says it's fine. The economy is fine. Jobs are up, unemployment is low, everything is resilient. So why does the San Antonio housing market feel awkward? Homes are sitting significantly longer, buyers are hesitating, sellers are confused. It's almost like something's happening, but no one wants to say it out loud. Almost when you need to lose weight, but no one tells you. There is a recession happening, not the dramatic, news flashing, stock market shattering crash kind, the quiet kind, the one that's a little bit silent, and it's hitting the exact people who qualify for mortgages right now. Let's talk about that so you can fully understand and it's not just my imagination or your imagination. Why is high income jobs matter in the housing market? Let's keep it in plain English. Let's make this simple. Right now, it takes close to $120,000 a year for a household to comfortably afford a medium-priced home. A typical household makes significantly less than that, nearly half to be realistic. So, who's realistically left to buy homes? High-income earners. That is why job losses in tech, professional service, and finance matter so much right now. Those jobs usually pay above what's needed to qualify for a mortgage in today's market. When those roles get cut, it's not just a job loss in general, it's the exact buyer who qualify for a home right now. And when the qualified buyer shrinks, demand cools. Economists have pointed out that when high-end employment declines, the resale housing market tends to soften, not because the entire economy is collapsing, but because the people who actually can afford it today's prices are fewer. Here's the key idea. The job market does not have to fall apart for the housing to cool. It just has to lose the wrong kind of jobs. And that's the shift people are starting to feel. What this actually means for the San Antonio housing market. Here's what's happening, and it is very quiet and subtle. Job growth isn't disappearing, it's just shifting. More of the new jobs being added right now are lower paying industries, and that changes everything for the housing market, because when income tilts lower, more households qualify to renting, not buying. That's exactly what we're seeing right now. Even though there's been a wave of new apartments and built to rent communities hitting the market, rentals are still getting absorbed. In other words, they're filling up. Rents have typically been declining month over month for the last 2 years now. Sounds dramatic, doesn't it? But zoom out for a second, even the slightest decline recently. Rents are still nearly 17% higher than they were 6 years ago, and it's high demand cities like New York. Rents are still climbing, so renter demand hasn't collapsed. Why? Because the jobs being created right now tend to support renter budgets, not buyers' budget. That's not that people don't want to buy a home. It's just fewer people can. The invisible recession is showing up in the housing market right now. For the past few years, the housing market has been relied heavily on small groups of high-end earners and equity-rich buyers. Think tech professionals, finance and corporate, and the income brackets that can actually clear today's mortgage qualification bar. Now, this group is feeling pressure, and the housing is starting to feel it too. It isn't your typical recession with dramatic headlines and massive unemployment everywhere. It is quieter, it's subtle. The overall economy might be adding jobs, but it's the jobs being lost at the high-end paying ones, the ones that fuel the mortgage approvals. The housing market cools anyways. That's the twist. We don't need a full-blown recession to slow down the housing market. We just need the wrong people to start losing their jobs. Layoffs in tech and professional sectors are picking up. AI-related stocks have been swinging hard, and historically, that kind of turbulence hits high-income workers first. And here's the interesting part that you need to understand. This shift usually shows up in local layoff announcements before they even appear in the federal economic reports. So, if you start seeing headlines about major employers trimming high-income roles in your city or San Antonio, that's not just the business news. That's housing demand news. If this cuts continue, the housing market may keep on cooling, not because the whole economy is collapsing, because the very buyers who support today's prices are stepping back. And that's much more of a nuisance story that the economy is fine or we're in a recession. This is not black or white, it's about earnings and who qualifies right now. Let's just bring it home to San Antonio. Now, let's zoom into San Antonio. San Antonio is not Silicon Valley. We're not Wall Street either, But we're not isolated. Over the past few years, we've had remote workers move here. Corporate relocations brought high-income professionals to San Antonio. Move-up buyers have pushed certain price points even higher. So when these sectors tighten nationally, it does not stay national. It trickles down to San Antonio. And what that shrinks locally, the qualified buyer pool. Not the number of people scrolling Zillow at midnight or 1 in the morning, not the people who want a house, but the number who can actually get approved right now. That's a big difference. Now picture this: open house, beautiful home, great community that you just love. Buyers walk in, everyone loves it. Start imagining furniture placement. They go under contract, then the underwriter calls. I'm sorry, the debt to income ratio is not going to work here. Unfortunately, you're not qualified. And just like that, the deal is gone. Not because they got cold feet, not because they changed their mind, but because the housing math changed. That's the invisible recession that we're seeing right now. It just quietly removes buyers from the table. Not good at all. Now let's do the buyer real talk. If you're a buyer, here's a quiet fear. What if I buy a home and the market softens? That's a true statement. But here's another fear. What if I wait and I'm no longer qualified the same way as I did last year? Mortgage approvals isn't emotional. It is math. And math does not care about vibes. Now the seller's real talk. If you're a seller right now, you're probably thinking, inventory is low nationally. Why is my house sitting? Which is a true statement, because the buyer pool is getting smaller or thinner. Not dramatically, just enough to change leverage. When high income sectors wobble or move around, move up buyers pause. And when the move up buyers pause, mid-tier buyers pause. It just keeps on going quietly. What does this actually mean? This is not a crash. It is friction. Less automatic bidding wars, more negotiations, more days on the market, more incentive. It's not chaos. It's recalibration. And recalibration feels uncomfortable when you're used to 2021 energy. Rentals, let's look at rentals versus buying. Here's the interesting twist that you need to understand. Low wage jobs is still happening, so rentals stay strong. But for resale, housing depends on high income approval thresholds. Two markets, same city, different pressures. If your entire strategy is rates will drop and everything will magically fix itself, that's not a plan. That's optimistic with a Pinterest board, but based on today's housing math, not future fairy tales. Now the strategy for buyers. If you're buying a house here in San Antonio right now, focus on payment, not price. Get fully underwritten. Use softer demands to negotiate. Stop making decisions on national headlines. This is a thinking market, not a rushing market. Now, strategy for sellers. If you are selling, pre-inspect, handle major repairs up front, price for qualification realities. Accept that 2022 was a different planet. Where you're not competing against last year, you're competing against income thresholds today. The market is not broken, it's being very selective right now, and people who fully understand who qualifies and who does not are the ones who are making smart moves right now. If you want to see what actually is happening in your price range here in San Antonio, not what's happening nationally, check this link below. Look at the real numbers for you and your family, then make a decision based on math, not the current mood. Timing beats headlines. Local strategy wins all the time. Will help you move accordingly. Like, share, and don't forget to subscribe.